Incremental readings. Let's continue the Supermemo course, the Pleasurable expansion. We have introduced priorities, so now it's time to see how they are used in Supermemo.
Let's say it's the same in life, right? Maybe let's say you want to watch TV, but you have to pick your kids at school. Not really watch TV. The waiting priorities. Obviously watch the latest show. It's the same in Supermemo. Take a look at this window, okay, so that it doesn't
The browser window.
look so overwhelming, because I see so many people glossing over this stuff. Okay, so
Yeah, so we already have seen the A factor and the U factor, the element number that you can neglect, and the ordinal, that only if you should care for the advanced English collection, and even that it's quite niche, and the forgetting index. So exactly the last 6 columns we have seen already. Coincidence that they are just together. And now it's time to see this one. Prior, that stands for priority.
so this is the interval. Okay, current elements, like just read. I'm just reading. Current elements in repetition interval. Like right now, all the intervals are 1. Last repetition, when the next steps, number of times that they are for items. When you
Yeah, that's the thing, that the videos about priority, the chapter is called priority window. By the way, this is not a priority window, by the way, it's a browser window. We will see the priority window later. Here you go, 23 minutes in is this window. And he explains all of that we have seen, but not priorities still. That's why I try to do the videos as atomic as possible.
we now default index is usually get this way. You further fast in for priority. No, we don't look at priorities. Okay. Now I'm gonna click here to show you that all the
If you click the header, same for all of the columns, is sorted. You would say, yeah, it's sorted by the smallest to the highest, right? If you remember when we did the ordinal, we had 50-something thousand, and it was the highest. It goes to the highest, the lowest. And that is true. And you will say, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, bro. But I see 0, and it goes to 100%. Well, 65, because it's not the entire collection. Nope. Because in Supermemo, the highest priority is 0%. The closest to the 0, the higher it is. And the closer to 100, the lower it is. You may think that the opposite is true. Higher the number, the higher the priority. The opposite is true. No worries, this is by design. And it may sound counterintuitive, which is true at the beginning. It is why you make this choice. But in the long term, you will see it is actually better to combat priority bias. So remember this. When we want to increase the priority is to decrease the number. So the priority, how it's seen in the browser window, it's the percentage, not the position. Now, because it is very small, every single element is 3.1% of the priority. That means he has about 30 or 28 elements in the priority queue.
these elements have different priorities. Okay, and now we're gonna close, reopen the outstanding list, and if
It's not the outstanding list, it's the outstanding queue. And the outstanding queue, you will see that later, but we advance. Outstanding is what is scheduled to see today, or in the past that is still unseen. And in other words, the outstanding queue is a subset of the priority queue.
if you notice, they're not really in the order of priorities. Like, not at all. Like 3, 56, 9, 12. What?
By default, you have the order that is in the knowledge tree.
Should be like 3. Should be like maybe 3, 6, 9. Okay. But we go on our sorting criteria, and you see that You're only reviewing
Sorry. Usually that's true when you are in the browser window. You get this default sort, but if it's outstanding, you may want to have that. I think I already now recall because I watched this already. He's kind of confused. He spends a lot of time, so I will save you the trouble and show you the solution right away. So in my collection, if I go to my outstanding, okay, do you see the priorities are all different, right? It doesn't start with the lowest. Okay. If I want to have the same order that I will see my repetitions, so my sorting criteria that we will see later, is as easy as clicking the first option, sort for review, or Control S. Now in my case, it's not as quick because I have 33,000, and here you go. Priority queue, and I have 56,000, okay, closer to 57,000 elements. And I can sort, even if they are not outstanding, regardless of their outstanding. That is my first element. Obviously, all of this is dummy. If you see, those elements are, I have created those elements because of this course, are a dummy. Why are in the top highest priority? And this is actually important. When you right click and create a new element, depending if it's an item topic or here, article, note, and so on, look at the priority. It becomes the first. Why? Because it's using the active concept. You will be using the default concept priority that we will see as well in detail. So there's a trap that you can have what's more recent, it will be the higher priority. And it's not what you want. But let's stay on focus that this is all of the priority queue. Okay. And I have that many elements. 36,690. Is that all? I don't know. Let me go to the all. Hey, I have one more. In this case, it's a very absurd case. Just one more. How is that? Because not all elements are in the priority queue. The question is, which elements? Do you remember we had some elements that were in the new material? Let me go to the Advanced English collection. In this case, I have more or less the same quantity of elements, 43,863. Okay, that's the entire collection, but how many of those are in the priority queue? Let's check that. View, priority queue. Seems that all of them, right? With advanced, do you remember the statistics window? That usually it's not that useful to have at all times. In this particular case, it is useful as a shortcut, and I can check that. Hey, I have 44,850 elements pending in the new material. How many do I have memorized? 1. Memorized means that it takes part in the learning process, not necessarily that I memorized the contents. So do you see that I got all of the elements, 44,863, is the same number. So in this case, the entire collection is in the priority queue, even though some elements are not in the learning queue, in the learning process. How is that possible? Because even if it's pending, it has a priority. It will be just at the bottom of the priority. Let's use one single example. To take a dog for a walk.
Walk.
That is super high priority. Is the number 4 in the priority queue. How do I know that? Here I only have 2 decimals. Not that helpful. But here I have the position as well. The percentage. In this case it's rounded. It doesn't even show me the percentage. And the position number 4. And here it tells me that it's pending. Okay. Then, if I dismiss that, we will see what this means. But for now on, this means that I'm ignoring this. So I'm not going to see this ever. It's there, but it's ignored. Okay. So we could say, to simplify, so what's the difference here? All is everything. That can be memorized or dismissed, not memorized. So you split this into 2. And here you split it by element type: concepts, topics, items, and tasks. And yes, they don't have the same icon, strictly speaking. It's different. It's not green and blue. Don't ask me why, it's not consistent. It's Supermemo. And then here you have 4 options: outstanding, neural queue, and priority queue. Neural, we will see this much later when it is. It's for the neural review. Then the priority is more or less the same as all, but it will include what is very low. And you see what's lower is dismissed, because when you dismiss elements, meaning they will be ignored for the learning process, when you do the click on learn, see next, they will never appear. It goes to the bottom of the queue. Remember, the bottom, the lowest, is closer to the 100%, not the 0%. Do you see? And I have still some items here and there that are super low priority, that I don't care if I miss that. So this was scheduled for more than a year ago, and it's still outstanding. So it's a good example. So everything in Supermemo has a priority, and if it has a priority, it will be in the priority queue. That every element comes before and after an element, from the start to finish. This is different of what you may have seen in other software, that, hey, yeah, we can use priorities, and the only priority you have is high, low, mid, urgent, can wait. This is not a queue, are buckets, different containers. That's it. This is a full-fledged queue. One is behind another one. There are no buckets or anything in parallel. Then we will see, okay, now I got what are priorities and what is the priority queue. But how do I work with those priorities? When should I care? Or, okay, how decide? Is this worth 1%, 10%, 40%? I'm lost. No worries, we'll cover this in the upcoming videos. See you in the next video.